Hello and welcome to week 7. I'm going to review week 7 for you very quickly. There's not a giant project for week 7. It's more of a discussion in relation to the posts that are presented in our discussion modules. But we'll review that, and then we're going to kind of go through the expectations for week 8. So during this week into this weekend, you could work on that week 8 project and make sure you're ready for submission on that Friday. The class ends on Friday of that last week. So got to make sure our submissions are complete and ready to go by 12 midnight on that Friday. All right, so let's dig into our course pieces. Hopefully everything's going well for everyone so far, and we get a good understanding of what is expected of us in our learning environments as we move forward here. We've got some good content over the last couple weeks and wanted to share, and hopefully we'll see more of that as I go through and grade your visitations or your reviews of content that was presented. If you did a video review of classroom and what you saw, or if you actually got a chance to get out and visit a classroom. So let's go through and take a look at week 7 real quick, just to make sure we have a good understanding of what's expected of us during this term. We're still looking at our emerging technologies. We're going to make sure that we have a good understanding of those 2.0 technologies that we're sharing and communicating with one another. If your week is to present the information that is being the lead discussion person, make sure we have our discussion post by tomorrow, Tuesday, and that's ready to go. Take a look back on our week 1 if you want to look at the submissions and who has week 8 and week 7 to make sure you have it, because this is a discussion-led week. And really what we're looking at is our discussion. Martine, looks like you're up for this week and you're going to lead the discussions. We're trying to get some of the core content pieces that has been read from the Evernote or Goodreads, either one of those sources that you have used in the past to find out some good information you want to share and lead a discussion about those. Again, 1 scholarly post is expected, then 2 other follow-up posts to somebody else's experiences is kind of what we're expecting here. And so our emerging technology presentation feedback this week, you will review 2 to 3 classmates presentations and respond with feedback or questions. Okay. And so that means that in the discussion module this week, every student is expected to post 2 of their presentations they've done so far. And it could be any one of your works that you feel that you got a good score on and you're very proud of, and you want to have feedback other than my feedback on that presentation. Feel free to make sure you get that in there after the Tuesday post. So we're looking for that feedback. So if you post the URL, if you're using a Google file or some other file, you can post that in the discussion module so people can provide feedback to you on how well or what should be changed and what should be affected within that learning environment or the presentation that you've created. Again, this is up to you guys, so make sure that you get those up there in a timely manner. We'd like to have those all posted by Wednesday so that people can start to respond and get their work completed. I know some people like to work ahead and make sure those things are done. So the rubric for this assignment, in essence, is very quick. It is a 25-point assignment. It's really based on that you've reviewed 2 to 3 classmates' presentations and that you give them then some type of feedback on the discussion board. Now, if they post a presentation and you give them a comment on the presentation itself, probably not going to see that. So we're going to look at the presentation and give comments back on the discussion board so that we can see that post. Okay, so again, so our weeks, we have our normal discussions that will take place starting Tuesday after the person who's leading, Martine, posts the information. And then Wednesday, we're going to get multiple posts for presentations available to us so that we can review other students' presentation and provide feedbacks or ask questions, because there might be a topic that's of interest to you that you want to learn more about or get some in-depth experience from someone who's done a little bit of work on that area. And so that's the essence of this week's presentation. But what I really want to kind of go into is talk about our week 8 information so that people who are, like I said, willing to work ahead and looking towards that capstone project piece that is in week 8, we're going to look at that. So emerging technology, book review, and let's kind of talk about what a book review is. And so from Goodreads or from your Evernote postings and things of that nature, or someone's posted a great file, or maybe from a presentation that you reviewed and someone has given you a good reference that you wanted to link into and go back and kind of read excerpts from that report or from that book or from that posting. You can do that. This is essentially a literary review. So if you're looking for examples of what you should do, like a physical example, if you search a literary review, you're going to find an example of what this will look like. And this is something that's expected to go into your capstone project piece in one of your future courses. So as you start your research and education in 580 and then look at your 605 action and research project, you're kind of looking at that capstone project, and this may be something you can include in that project. And so take it with that thought in mind. That means that if it's something that you feel that you really want to research and you want to get more information, do the work and process and turn it in now. You'll get back, you'll get reviews. So when you do your capstone piece, it becomes that much more of a stronger document, and it's something that you share and be really proud of. It's a lot like when you finish up your thesis, that you want to make sure you're doing that project and you want someone to review the project multiple times that you do your best. It goes into paraphrase, and essentially paraphrase means that we're not looking for a word-for-word recitation of what was already in the text itself, but paraphrase means that you've read it and you've given us a summary of the research there. Now, when you look at literary reviews, there's multiple ways to do a literary review. Sometimes there's chronological. That makes the most sense in your literary review. Sometimes there's a compare and contrast in a literary review based on research. There's different parts within there. Sometimes there's a thematic literary review based on what you're going to do. So whatever you're thinking that might be an area of research that you want to know more about, you can look at those two pieces. And so you can compare and contrast technology environments versus non-technology environments. You know, a chronological review of where technology was not included and how it was included and how it's going to be included. A thematic piece where you're looking at a certain type of technologies. And so if you're looking at screen capture pieces from originals and how those are working now within multiple screen environments and things like that, 3D pieces and compared to a 2D, you know, so you get kind of the idea. You can do some thematic reviews and your research circles around that content. Some things for you to know as you look in your week 8 piece. If you look through the rubric here, you'll see some good things to make sure you paraphrase. And again, it's not a restating of the information, and that you give details that are supported by your research. And we shouldn't see any direct citations over 100 words. It's just 100, 200, that's a lot. And so if you were to turn this into like turnitin.com or anything like that, and you did a similarity index review where it gives you a percentage of it similar to something else that's out there, you should be somewhere in the 5%-ish. Okay, that means that you've actually re-summarized the information. If you have access to that, that's a great tool for you to use here. Clear communication is focused. You give a logical sequence of strong supporting information, and that's where we kind of talked about the way that you construct this literary review. And so it's either I'm going to do it this way without mentioning the chronological, without mentioning compare and contrast, without mentioning the thematic. And it should be somewhere about 600 to 800 words. And so you're looking about 4 pages about. As people like to break things down into pages, kind of what you're looking at, but you can do a word count review in Google or any other software tool will give you a word count review. So that's what we're looking for in that week 8. That's what we're looking for in that week 7. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to text, email, or call. I will be calling most likely this Sunday, Monday, as we come into the next week. I won't post another video, but I'll call to see how everybody's doing, how the expectations of the assignment, any clarifications required, things like that. Just kind of touch base to make sure everybody's moving well and on time and ready to go forward with the submission on Friday. So hopefully this class has been worthwhile to you. Like I said, I'll be talking to you on an individual basis from this point out. I enjoyed reading your information, going through what you've presented. One thing I really like within technology courses is to see those new technologies and what people are adapting out there and how they're using them within their classrooms. I think it's a real valid piece is when we get to the chance to open up our doors and share with others. And so that's just kind of a caveat to what our whole course and curriculum should be throughout this master's program. Again, thank you for being diligent students and getting things done on time and doing really good work. If there's any critique to the end as you move forward, make sure you're studying those APA formattings and citations. There's multiples of those, and there are always some new tweaks that come out that are pretty much searched through OWLS. And so OWLS has some of the most latest writing review pieces for you to look up a specific type of citation. And that's what I use a lot when I have a question. Again, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.